phambi kokuba ndiqale mandibulise kuwe sekala somlomo ndibulise inkulumbuso ingekho namhlanje ndibulise amalungu endlu yoqingqokiso mthetho ndibulise the Executive Council amalungu esikhokelo somasipala esikhoyo phakathi kwethu namhlanje zonke ii-troikas zalapha ephondweni kwamasipala bethu bonke i-Director General ne-HODs and senior government officials present today, the leadership of state-owned enterprises, the traditional leadership, ngokukhokelwa yindlu yenkosi zezola kowethu esinayo apha eBhisho, political parties ngokukodwa le ilawulayo uqalabala banzi, the religious fraternity, the labor, the business leaders, ndibulise nomama wethu ugender commissioner okhoyo phakathi kwethu uMambatha, iindwendwe zethu ezibalulekileyo zonke ezikhoyo namhlanje, uluntu lwaseMpuma Kapa luphela abalapha ephondweni, abakwamanye amaphondo nabo bamamele konomathotholo emakhaya. Ndiyanibulisa ngale mveni kwemini. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we have been crisscrossing the province responding to the Tumamina clarion call made by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Our journey has opened our eyes to the challenges faced by our people, especially those with disabilities. As we all know, November is the Disability Rights Awareness Month. It is important that we ramp up our efforts to improve the lives of people with disabilities and increase the number of people with disabilities at all levels of government in the province. Honorable Deputy Speaker, one of the greatest leaders ever walked on the face of planet Earth, the founding father of our democratic nation, Utata Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, once remarked that, and I quote, "After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb," close quote. Over the past 23 years, we have conquered hills, but many steeper hills remain an obstacle to our pursuit of the vision of a better life for all. In his maiden medium-term budget policy statement, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni presented us with an option to climb two hills, a hill of hope or a hill of despair. For us in the Eastern Cape, this is a moment of truth, a moment where we choose to climb the hill of hope. Phaya kwincwadi yeDeuteronomy ichapter yesibini ivesi yesibini uya kweyesithathu kukho amazwi afundeka ngolu hlobo sekela somlomo. Wathetha uYehova kum wathi kukade niyijikeleza le ntaba nyukelani ngasentla. We know that at the summit of this hill of hope lies a better tomorrow for the people of our province. A tomorrow that is free from poverty, unemployment, and inequalities. We do this buoyed by the fact that we are the sons and daughters of men and women who climbed and conquered the colonial and apartheid hills. Who are we then to fear this challenge? We climb this hill of hope, mindful of the fact that it requires us to take extraordinary bold measures to signal our intent of reviving our economy. We believe that climbing this hill of hope also calls for a capable, efficient, and investor-friendly developmental government system that should be complemented by a more responsive business sector. A business sector that balances profit margins with a noble cause of investing in our economy to benefit the poor. Because, as the saying goes, when the poor have nothing to eat, they will have nothing to eat but the rich. To conquer this hill of hope requires re-energized and patriotic civil servants who subscribe to the value of selfless service to the people, an ethos that was close to the heart of Umama Albertina Sisulu. This moment calls for us in the government, business, labor, traditional leaders, faith-based organization, and civil society at large to renew our developmental vows. Many of our people, black and white, young and old, still dream for better paying jobs. Some dream of having affordable quality education for their children. Many more dream of living long, healthy, and disease-free lifestyle, while others dream of owning their own thriving businesses. I'm quite certain that all of us in this house today relate to these dreams. Thus, we must work together more than ever before to find a breakthrough to our sluggish economic growth, which is critical to advancing the dreams of our people. We are therefore here today in these chambers that we correctly named after one of the Rivonial trialists and the first premier of our province, Utata Raymond Mhlaba, to table the last provincial medium-term policy statement for the 5th administration. Honorable members, we want to give an update on the adjustments we are making to the main budget we tabled in March, taking into account new developments in the economy. Secondly, we will share with you the outlook of our budgetary plans for the next medium-term expenditure framework, through which we seek to advance the dreams of our people. But before I do that, let me share with the House the economic outlook we have to navigate. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as alluded by Minister Mboweni, the national economy is growing at a lower rate than previously anticipated. National Treasury has thus revised the GDP growth to 0.7% from 1.3% in 2017. We have drifted into these uncharted waters due to a number of factors, many of which are man-made. As the governing party had noted in its 54th National Conference, these factors include issues such as the deliberate weakening of the state-owned companies, low levels of business and consumer confidence, low levels of investment, credit rating downgrades, policy inconsistencies, public and private sector corruption, and rising national debt. These elements are making the task of climbing the hill of hope even more steeper, but eventually we will reach the summit. For there is a better Eastern Cape that awaits us at the summit. Various sectors of economy, including mining and agriculture, have disappointingly performed below their potential in Q3 of 2018. Hence, they are unable to create much-needed jobs. The province has lost about 17,000 jobs in the manufacturing sector in the third quarter, as reported by EXAC in their labor market review. We must turn the tide on low economic growth in our province. Kodwa ke ndoza kuthi akuhlwi kungasi. We are expecting GDP growth to bounce back to 1.7% in 2019 and to 2.1% in 2020, and this would result in new investment in key sectors of our economy. We can attribute this prospective growth to higher business confidence, policy certainty, and restoration of good governance practices across the state institutions. Without a doubt, Deputy Speaker, positive developments in the global and national economy will certainly have a similar effect on the provincial economy. However, for now, the outlook for our economy remains highly constrained. Isimo soqoqosho sekala somlomo sikwitshekile ngesixhosa esivakalayo. Ithetha ukuthini ke loo nto sekala somlomo? Ndiyacinga ukuba ngumbuzo osezingqondweni zabantu bakuthi lowo. Okokuqala, uqoqosho olukwitshekileyo lungenisa imali encinci kwingxowa-mali karhulumente kazwelonke, mali leyo eza ngerhafu eqokelelwa ngababuthi berhafu. Imali encinci kwingxowa-mali karhulumente kazwelonke ithetha ukuba amaphondo ajolelwa kwisithebe esincinci. Yonke ke le nto yenzeka ngexesha ilizwe lijamelene nemiceli-mingeni efana neendleko zokunyuswa kwemivuzo yabasebenzi bakarhulumente efuna i-30 billion. In this financial year, Deputy Speaker, we have to absorb the cost of living adjustment in relation to cost of employees of 160 million in the immediate period and 1 billion over the MTF. Siliphondo sikwajongene nomcimbi wokuphulukana nemali engange 5.9 billion kule minyaka mithathu izayo ngenxa yokuhamba kwabantu besiya kwamanye amaphondo befuna amadlelo aluhlaza. Yawukhumbula ke sekela somlomo into okokuba besiloko sisitsho kule ndlu into yoba kule minyaka mithathu igqithayo besele siphulukene nemali engange 13 billion kuba abantu abangange 500,000 bamkile kweli phondo baya kwamanye amaphondo. There are realities we are confronted with as we ascend the hill of hope, and these are the realities we are responding to, Honorable Deputy Speaker. At a national level, we are robustly advocating for the review of the equitable share formula, which relies heavily on the outward migration of people from one province to another in the allocation of the financial resources. We are of the view that this formula should be changed as it has a stranglehold on service delivery in rural provinces such as ours. While we call for the revision of the formula, we must as well do the right things with what we have. There are areas where we have not spent funds that were meant for service delivery, and where we have spent, there are areas where there is no value to show for what has been spent. Ayifuni national government ke le ifuna thina kudingeka nje isikhokelo apha nto leyo engumnqa kuba iphondo lethu laziwa ngokuvelisa iinkokheli ezigqibeleleyo kuwo onke amabakala obomi. Ndiqala uva umasipala ospende 113 njengomasipala waseNtabankulu kwi-imigi yakhe kuyasetyenzwa 113%. Honorable Speaker, we are happy to report in this House and to the people of the province that as part of the equitable share review process, the Financial and Fiscal Commission, the National Treasury and Provincial Treasuries are also conducting a study on the cost of service delivery. The results of this study could unburden the higher cost for goods and services that we are currently experiencing due to the vastness of our province. Iindleko zokwakha isikolo sekala somlomo elusikisiki ngeke zilingane neendleko zokwakha isikolo ngapha eRhawutini. Yaye iindleko zokwakha indlela enkantolo eMbizana ngeke zifane neendleko zokwakha indlela ePitoli. Thus, we do not foresee an outcome that is not favorable for our case in this study. We are also pushing hard for progressive reforms which should see the economic sector allocated resources directly from the DORA in the form of conditional grants. This is long overdue, and this is what we need to do to move away from a consumptive state to a productive state. Imagine the economy and the job creation spin-offs our province could derive if we could be allocated a 2 billion economic development conditional grant. This is what we would want to actually advocate. This is not a misplaced desire, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and we believe that the national government can raise this money from within the budget of national economic cluster departments and direct it to provinces such as the Eastern Cape that suffered the most from the apartheid spatial development planning. As I mentioned earlier, Honorable Deputy Speaker, steeper hills await us in our pursuit of a better tomorrow for the people of our province. To conquer this hill of hope, we must do away with the conservative methods that have not yielded the desired results in the last 23 years. As we pursue these progressive reforms, there is a role that ordinary citizens should play in the process. In 2021, our country will conduct a census to count the number of citizens in the country and to assess the movement of people. We urge the people of our province to participate in the upcoming census as its results are crucial for government planning and allocation of resources. Okwesibini, sicela noko uluntu lwakuthi lunqandane kule nto yokutshisa izakhiwo ezenzelwe ukunceda lona. Umlilo zange wakhalizwe, ungasoze ufezekise izidingo zoluntu. Uyabona ke aba batshisa ii-clinics, abasi bantwana ekliniki xa begula. Kufuneka kuphakame umuntu ongumama asebenzise imali ase umntwana ekliniki ekude kuba ekufuphi itshisiwe. Masingamkhisi amanzi nge-ML evuzayo urhulumente mzonzulu. The medium-term budget policy statement, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are presenting today calls on us to strengthen the fiscal consolidation. That means trimming down the fat on items we could live without and invest our resources on service delivery and economic development initiatives. Therefore, we will continue to implement measures for cost containment in non-core items, wage bill, and enhanced own revenue generation initiatives. It's not yet time to loosen the belt. Honorable Deputy Speaker, since the beginning of this financial year, we have realized a saving of 45 million on cost containment, which focus on cutting costs on catering, accommodation, and travel. This policy imperative will remain in place for the foreseeable future. Honorable members, on the wage bill, as I mentioned earlier, we must now find money from our reserve to accommodate a share of the 30 billion shortfall. The National Treasury, uthi lusana lwethu olu ngoko ke masulubeleke. This is going to put further pressure on our fiscus, and it also means we must shelve some of our ambitious plans. Therefore, we must be relentless in our pursuit of striking a balance between the cost of employees and actual service delivery, as it currently stands at 63-37% ratio. It is in the interest of all of us to do so, as this matter is an albatross on our service delivery and, more importantly, to economic development. Provincial Treasury has managed to create stability and order in our HR system through the centralization of PESAL. There are no more overdrafts, no more abuse of overtime, and certainly no more appointment of ghost employees in the system. PESAL will remain centralized under the authority of Provincial Treasury over the 2019 MTF. One of the policy imperatives that we believe our provincial government must pat itself on the back for is the insistence to grow our own revenue base. Had we not taken a decision to enhance our own revenue, we would have been exposed badly by the current economic climate. We would have been forced to beg for national assistance all the time, even for things that we could do on our own. We are estimating to collect 1.5 billion rand in the 2019-2020 financial year and 1.6 billion in 2020-2021 and 1.7 billion in 2021-2022 respectively. As honorable members would remember, in the main budget, we announced that a study to explore new revenue sources was undertaken with the assistance of the University of Fort Hare. We're now conducting an analysis for the implementation of this study. Honorable Deputy Speaker, if we are to increase our revenue, we must put systems in place to enable the increase of collection of fees and levies for services that government renders in transport, health, public works, and did it through its own entities. In the same vein, we must enforce the adherence of localization of spending, the public purse in line with our local economic development provincial framework. Our engagement with Auditor General SA in the Eastern Cape are moving beyond auditing financial management and governance, but will be inclusive of auditing the LED spending by departments and entities. Our departments have already started reporting to Provincial Treasury on their LED spend on quarterly basis. Through AGSA, we tested expenditure invoices to the value of 21 billion from the quarterly reports. The total LED spend incurred by the province amounted to 9.5 billion during the year under review. This amounts to 53% of the total goods and services and fixed assets spent on 18 billion incurred by the province during the year under review. All these efforts will go a long way in capping the out-migration, which is the single biggest contributor factor to the reduction of our equitable share, and thereby our budget baseline. Honorable Deputy Speaker, let me now deal with the outlook of our budget framework for the remainder of this term and for the 2019 medium-term expenditure framework. Preliminary provincial fiscal framework for the 2019 MTF provides for projected total fiscal envelope of 81.6 billion. As indicated earlier, we must absorb a cost of living adjustment of 1.1 billion in 2019-2020, 1.8 billion in 2020-2021, and 3.1 billion in 2020-2022 due to the outward migration of our people. This situation will further be compounded by more cuts which are expected on conditional grants. This is the battle we are confronted with as we ascend the hill of hope to a better tomorrow. We are therefore called upon to rebalance growth in a constrained fiscal environment. In this regard, we are proposing an upward adjustment of 675 million to the main budget of 78.4 billion that we tabled in March to an adjusted budget of 79.1 billion, which should be used to accelerate service delivery of economic services to our people in the remaining few months of this term. As you would know, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are in government to represent the aspiration of ordinary citizens. Therefore, we must aspire to inspire before we expire. Last week, we addressed an international conference organized by the University of Fort Hare on gender participatory budgeting, where strong views and proposals were raised on the importance of scientific development informed by research, including a proposal by Professor Willie Chinyamurundi that we should establish a research hub to inform government planning in our province, exploiting the fact that we've got this number of universities here. Part of the research we conducted included a survey that we ran where we asked our people to contribute with their views as part of our efforts to encourage participatory budgeting. I will reflect their inputs as I go along. Speaking in the dialogue on Power FM in July last year, former President Thabo Mbeki remarked that, and I quote, "For our economy to grow like any other, it needs new investment and a higher rate of investment. That means new factories and new mines," close quote. This is the direction President Cyril Ramaphosa is leading us towards with his plan of raising 100 trillion and the stimulus package to reignite the national economy. His message of South Africa is open for business is echoing across the globe, with investors lining up to invest in our economy. We are in constant conversation with the national leadership with the aim of attracting significant share of capital raised by national government for the implementation of SIPS projects in our province. Since the last term of our government, our province has been a construction site with a particular focus on the key trade routes, which are key to the road network improvement, with the purpose of attracting investment and facilitating better movement of our people and goods. The N2 Wild Coast project has finally taken off, with the two biggest bridges in the Southern Hemisphere being awarded and sites established. The full-scale commencement of the Mzimvubu Dam project is imminent. We are not letting up on our calls for Project Mtombo, shale gas, biofuel, including mining, to grow our economy. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we must never fool ourselves into thinking that our economy would grow and create jobs that we so desperately need through a single sector. The economy of Gauteng, which has sustained generations to generations of migrants, is not where it is today through the contribution of a single sector. It was founded on the extraction of mineral resources to grow industry for the benefit of citizens. If there is a case to extract a shale gas, titanium, or any other mineral, it must be done in a responsible and environmental friendly manner, with an emphasis on beneficiation and share ownership for local communities. We can't do these things without our people. We can't continue working without our people. We must actually listen to them. We note the court judgment on Kolobeni mining. We still believe that people of Kolobeni deserve better than what they are currently subjected to. We cannot say no to mining in our province, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and then pack our bags to work in the mines in other provinces, living with the financial resources that could have made a difference in our province, only to come back years later unproductive and unhealthy to demand social services in the province. That is absurd. Singonyana nentombi zabazali ababethatha utepa sekela somlomo. Ingaba sizimisele ukuba ngotata nomama babantwana abaza ukuthatha utepa na? Ingaba silala ubuthongo obehlayo xa sibona imeko abantu beliphondo abaphila phantsi kwazo kwimikhukhu yaseKapa nakumanye amaphondo de bade babizwe ngoba bazi-refugees. This is a moment of truth. Make sikhulele uxanduva. The investment we are pursuing will filter down to our municipalities and change the lives of our people at a ward level under the authority of a municipality. You would notice, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that we have taken a deliberate decision to invite mayors of all municipalities in the province to this table. We want the leadership of our municipality to embrace these developments and to do their duty in council to enable their implementation by creating a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. Ayizosinceda into basikhalazele i-equitable share formula when singayispend imali esiyinikweyo yokutshintsha ubomi babantu bakuthi bube ngcono. Usicebisile watsho ubhuti Siyabonga Sweleka esithi masitsalele abatyali zimali koomasipala ukuze bakwazi ukuphuhlisa ezoqoqosho nokuvelisa amathuba emisebenzi ezilalini. We want to remind our colleagues at the local sphere of government that expensive tariffs, inadequate infrastructure and tedious approval processes for plans are an antithesis for economic development and attracting investors. Provincial Treasury has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs to strengthen the administrative and financial management capacity of our municipalities. The President has followed up his investment attraction drive with a stimulus package to restore confidence, reignite growth, create jobs, and deliver public services in a sustainable manner. An amount of about 50 billion will be redirected to public infrastructure, localized procurement support for small businesses and farmers. We plan to tap on this stimulus through the submission of credible and bankable business plans. This medium-term budgetary policy statement, Honorable Deputy Speaker, challenges us not to fold our arms and wait for national government to become our Moses. For the first time in the history of our province, we plan to do the unconventional. That is to raise 1.1 billion over the 2019 MTF to invest massively in the economic cluster. We would do this through the reprioritizing within the current baselines. This is unprecedented and will get us to the summit of the Hill of Hope much quicker than we would under the current status quo of budgeting for social services. We would invest these resources to build both macro and micro economy of our province to create sustainable employment opportunities for our people, targeting the agricultural sector, tourism sector, and the creative industry, oceans economy, manufacturing sector, township and rural sector. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the statement that says our province has a huge potential in agricultural sector has reached its sell-by date. Mr. Joe Mnyengo wrote to us and said the NEC Lekgotla and the Cabinet Lekgotla emphasized support for farmers with inputs and agriculture, close quote. In this adjustment, the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform receives 59.9 million for drought relief. Of that amount, 20 million is for comprehensive agricultural support program grant to support farmers with fodder in Sarabatman, Amatole District, and Nelson Mandela Metro, while 35.950 million is for the land care program grant to provide support to all districts with training and development capacity on smart agriculture techniques and technologies to mitigate the effect of drought. Kondiza apha sekala somlomo kukutata ondifonela uthi ufuna idip qha elisebe malibokhela idip bakwazi ujonga inkomo zabo bakwazi ukuzinyanga. In addition, we are also allocating 50 million to the ECDC support to support SMME who are operating in the agriculture, oceans, economy, manufacturing, and tourism sectors as a response to the advice of Mr. Mnyengo. These SMME must include youth-owned enterprises and must guarantee jobs for the youth. Furthermore, our stimulus would enable us to invest on livestock production, grain farming, horticultural commodities, and agro-processing with a particular bias towards smallholder farmers. On tourism, honorable members, we would invest heavily on infrastructure development, in particular roads leading to our nature reserves for easy accessibility to our products. Destination marketing, promotion of cultural and socio-political heritage and sport tourism would receive a fair share of this stimulus funding. We would also invest to open up opportunities in the lucrative entertainment sector to create jobs and to market our province, targeting the film industry in the main. An amount of 10 million is allocated in this adjustment for film production within our province. Ndiyathemba ziyakunqumisa ezi ndaba mnumzana uMthobeli Mali, as you have advised us to allocate resources for film industry. Our province has undeniable talent and world-class size that should be utilized by the film industry. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are taking steps to demystify the oceans economy concept. Our main focus in this sector would be on exploring offshore oil and gas development, bunkering development, and marine aquaculture. On manufacturing, our two special economic zones, the East London IDZ and Kocha SEZ, continue to be the driving force behind our reindustrialization effort. Over the medium term, we would work with the DTI and the national government to attract investment in these SEZ, including the proposed Wild Coast SEZ. A portion of the stimulus would go to the services sector, where we would support those who want to expand or improve their businesses, such as car wash, motor vehicle workshops, carpenters, welders, accommodation establishment, and hawkers. This is key for reviving and encouraging entrepreneurship in our rural areas and townships. Sifikile sekela somlomo eBhisho sayibona imeko abasebenza phansi kwayo omama abaphekela abasebenzi bakarhulumente. Singenelele sasibuyisa isidima sabo fika nakwabanye abathengisa phantsi kweemeko ezifana nezi kulo lonke eli phondo lethu. Sibulela ke kumasipala ombaxa waseBuffalo City ngokusabela ubizo. To sustain the growth of the rural and township economies, we are going to insist that government departments must invest in our townships and rural enterprises through the procurement regime. They must have a set aside for rural and township enterprises in their procurement spend. We cannot expect these enterprises to compete with well-established businesses. Even in boxing, heavyweight boxer zange yathelekiswa ne-lightweight okanye junior weight mathola akunjalo. For instance, Cecilia Makiwane is a world-class hospital in Mtanzane. The Department of Health must be able to tell us, Honorable MEC Souls August, the number of transactions you are making with the local entrepreneurs in Mtanzane and for what goods. As I said before, to climb this hill of hope, we must do away with the conservative methods. They are delaying our progress to a better tomorrow. Through the stimulus, we also aim to incentivize innovation, employment and training of young people by private sector companies. In this adjustment, we are allocating an additional amount of 10.4 million to the Office of the Premier to continue with the Youth Skills Program in infrastructure maintenance that is being rolled out with the assistance of the SANDAF. That way, we are responding to your suggestions, Sis Nomfundo, Tofu, as you have correctly asked us to incentivize the upskilling of the youth. Future yabantwana bethu. Honorable Deputy Speaker, government alone cannot grow this economy to its optimum. We welcome the 438 million injection by South African breweries in their Nelson Mandela Bay plant, the 10 billion investment by Mercedes-Benz South Africa in their East London plant, the 3.4 billion by Aspen Pharmacare in their Nelson Mandela Bay plant, the 1 billion investment by Yegani Technologies through the Black Industrialist Program, and 900 million by MultiChoice at the East London SEZ, and other investors that announced investment at the South African Investment Conference. These investments must create new and sustainable jobs, in particular for the youth and Black-owned SMMEs. Sizocengana nazo ezinkampani kulomba side sifumanane abavelisi bezithuthi abantu ezinkampani kuthiwa zii-OEMs kufuneka basichazele ukuba izikhumba namalaphu nazo zonke ii-electronics abazisebenzisayo ezimotweni zabo bazithatha phi. Kutheni bengenawukwazi ukuzifumana apha? Kutheni singenawukhulisa abantu bakuthi baxhamle kula mashishini kubathatha ixesha elide encedisa abantu becala elithile kubantu baseMzantsi Afrika? Naye u-SAB ufuna asixelele into yokokuba laa mdiliya umfaxangiweyo awenzayo ulima phi, kuba sinomhlaba apha ephondweni esinokwazi ukuwusebenzisa, kuba sinakunceda ngokwangoku Bishop Mbete into yoba kuyaqhutywa yilampi, masibe siyilima xa ilimeka sibayeke. Singathanda kona uba singabagaleli pha, kodwa ke asinoyinqanda ngokwangoku uba yaxaka. As you can see, all these investments are in the rural areas of our province, are in the urban areas of our province. What are we saying to the young boy and a girl in Mount Fletcher, Mbizana, Matatiele, Koukama, and other rural parts of our province? Are they not worthy of accessing employment opportunities and development? They may be peripheral to the center, but we all know that they are the center of the periphery where they reside. Work opportunities and general development must go to where our people are. That's why it is important that we actually work very hard on the IGR, the cooperative governance, all our spheres of government work together. Umntu usewadini, iwadi ikumasipala, umasipala usephondweni, iphondo liseMzantsi Afrika. Unxulumano ke nonxibelelwano losebenzisana lakusincedisa kakhulu ukuqinisekisa into yokokuba sibheka phambili. Siyafuna sekala somlomo ukuba mema naba abakwi-financial sector sibave nabo babafuna uthini babasebathi cwaka ingakumbi ezibhanki ezinkulu kuyathethwa ngabantu abantu mabathethe kukhulekuwe eMzantsi Afrika. We have a memorandum of understanding with Old Mutual, and they have committed to invest in the agricultural and manufacturing sector through their Masisizane Fund. Where are other financial institutions and insurance companies? This is their economy as much as it is our economy. They must come on board and take responsibility for the development of this province. To realize the economic trajectory I've just alluded to, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we must have a solid foundation that is anchored on quality, basic education, primary health care, and accessible social services. Tatu Nelson Mandela reminds us that through education, a child of a miner can become a mine manager, and a child of a farm worker can be the president of a great nation. The sentiments expressed by Uba Umadiba are echoed by Miss Mtandile Ford, who wrote to us and said, and I quote, "The budget must speak to education, access to education, and quality education," close quote. We fully agree with you, Ms. Ford. Our budgeting regime continues and will continue to support access to quality education. In this adjustment, we are allocating 104 million to the Department of Education for the refurbishment of 38 hostels, as they are strategic in enhancing the culture of teaching and learning and in relieving the need for scholar transport. Of that amount, 3.5 million is for the completion of construction work at the newly built Makaula Hostel in Mount Frere. We are also setting aside in the exchequer account an amount of 281 million as a buffer to pay service providers that have completed the work they were assigned by the department. I repeat, payment of service providers that have completed the work they were assigned. Ndiyathemba uphendulekile umnumzana uNkosifikile Gqomo kwisicelo sakhe esithi masibhatalwe xa sise inkonzo yabantwini rhulumente, please. Over the medium term, thank you. Over the medium term, our budget for education will focus on ensuring that schools are adequately funded and properly resourced, especially the no-fee schools, and the timely provision of delivery of textbooks, stationery, and school furniture for every learner. We'll also pay attention to the continuous monitoring and evaluation of public schools' performance intervention to ensure maximum impact with specific focus on the implementation of the National Senior Certificate Improvement Plan 2019-2020 and strengthening the quality of school-based assessment tools. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are making good progress in the fight against dreadful diseases in our province. There has been a marked improvement in the disease prevention and control, with a total over 400,000 TB clients accessing treatment, 1.7 million clients tested for HIV and AIDS, over 456,000 clients kept on antiretroviral therapy, and 1.9 million clients screened for hypertension in 2017-2018. Bendibasa kuqhwabela xa senza umsebenzi omhle ngolu hlobo. In this adjustment, we are allocating 300 million to the Department of Health to pay service providers who are supplying the department with non-negotiable items such as medicine, food supplies, and implants. Ndithethile ke no-HOD bake ndafonelwa kwenye indawo kwathiwa abantu banikwa amayeza eveki endaweni yokunikwa amayeza enyanga. Ithethi ukuthi funeka babuye qho ngenyanga wenza umzekelo lo mama into yokokuba ubhatala yena i-50 rand ukuya kwikliniki ekufutshane. Funeka aphinde ke nge-50 rand eziyi-4 ngenyanga. Noko sithethile kuba masiyilungise loo nto nentloko yesebe yavuma uba hayi ngumcimbi nje lo obefana uba uthwe qhwi ibe yimpazamo. The National Health Insurance Bill Act has been tabled and is now going for public comment. We are confident that when it is implemented, it would end the issue of medical legal cases in our province. The NHI will level the field for the provision of healthcare services between the rich and the poor. Over the medium term, the Department of Health will continue to roll out the primary health care, re-engineering the initiatives aimed at improving the quality of care in line with national core standards. To realize this, Provincial Treasury will invest in the department and enable it to deliver, among other things, on rehabilitation of mortuaries and forensic pathology services unit, procurement and maintenance of medical equipment, upgrading of water treatment plants and sewage systems, electrical and mechanical plant and machinery upgrades, repairs and renovation of accommodation units for health professionals, and renovation of district hospitals, clinics, and community health care centers. Abantu bakuthi asifuni baguliswe nangakumbi yimeko engekho mgangathweni kumaziko ethu ezempilo. Kanjalo abongikazi nogqirha mabasebenze phantsi kweemeko ezikhuselekileyo nezisemgangathweni ophezulu ukuze bakwazi ukusebenza ngokuzinikela. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we can build the best schools, clinics, and hospitals, but without easy accessibility to these facilities, they will be irrelevant to our people, especially the rural masses. Kubalulekile ukuba silungise indlela zasezilalini, abantu bakuthi bakwazi ukufikelela kwezi nkonzo ngezithuthi zabo. Makubekho umahluko phakathi kweendonga nendlela esetyenziswa zizithuthi zoluntu. In this adjustment budget, we are allocating 110 million to the Department of Roads and Transport for the maintenance of existing rural roads. We are making an additional Thank you. We are making an additional investment of 16 million to the department to strengthen scholar transport, which currently caters for 80,700 learners on a daily basis throughout the province. Our province has been experiencing challenges in delivering key socio-economic infrastructure projects, mainly on education, health, and roads. As a result, year after year, we have been forced to return funds to the National Treasury at the expense of our development. To mitigate this, we are having engagements within government to establish a centralized infrastructure delivery vehicle that will lead to improved coordinated planning, procurement, and implementation of infrastructure projects. Honorable Speaker, our province is prone to disaster which require us to intervene when those unfortunate occurrences strike. The Department of Human Settlement receives 32.5 million to build permanent units for households that were affected by disaster in the King Sawata Dalindyebo local municipality. We are carrying government, and as such, when disaster strikes, we must be first on the scene to assist our communities. I want to applaud the Honorable Speaker for playing a commendable role she played in leading efforts to bring under control the fire that ravaged the communities in Tsitsikama recently. Ubhelekazi ebepha ebambe ngokwakhe engathumelanga ecima umlilo. Honorable Speaker, in the period under review, Honorable Deputy Speaker, in the period under review, some of our departments had to support initiatives that were not in the baseline, but their importance and significance resonate with who we are, and that is our heritage and culture. We are allocating 2.8 million to the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs for the upcoming coronation of King Zanozuko, but also paying for the coronation of King Ndlovuyezwe and Damase that has already been done. Honorable Speaker, 2019 is an election year in our country because we love our hard-earned democracy and we want to strengthen and protect it. We are allocating 10 million to the provincial legislature for political party funding. To summit this hill of hope to a better tomorrow also require us to account for every rand and rand we spend. We must do away with fiscal seepages in our administration. The latest provincial audit outcomes have shown slight regression. The era of irregular, unauthorized, and wasteful expenditure must come to an end. The era of irregular, unauthorized, and wasteful expenditure must come to an end. On this one, we are happy that the President has signed that bill into law. So every accounting officer, every executive with responsibility will have actually to understand that one very, very, very well. This is an area where both the political and administrative leadership should lead by example. We must do this to ensure effective financial management that promotes transparency and accountability to the citizens of our province. We further welcome, indeed, the signing of this bill by the President, as I've indicated, into law. In the past 3 months, we have been having progressive engagement with the AG South Africa to assess the impact of accountability failures, which, if not attended to, pose a risk of bringing down the provincial government to its knees. In the immediate period, we must invest in e-government system and improve the use of ICT towards clean governance. We must be at the forefront of leading the fourth industrial revolution to achieve government priorities. On this one, the inevitable is unavoidable. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as I conclude, the journey of climbing the hill of hope that we are embarking on did not start yesterday. It started in 1913 when our people were dispossessed their land. It intensified in 1962 when a man from the rural village of Mvezo and his fellow comrades faced their moment of truth when they stood trial for a noble belief that the people of this country of all races should live together in harmony with equal opportunities. Isitwalandwe uTata Ahmed Kathrada sums up what they went through when he says, and I quote, "We arrived on Robben Island on the 13th of June 1964. It was cold, windy, and raining. We cannot forget the first months at the quarry where we mined stones. We came back with blisters, bloody hands, and sore muscles. We cannot forget the dozen years or more when we were forced to sleep on the cold cement floors with the 3 blankets and a thin sisal mat. Also, we cannot forget the cold showers for 13 or 14 years, close quote." That was very unfortunate. We'll never go back there. We'll never go back there. Dontle abantu ndabakholisa basuka baqeqa kum. That was their moment of truth. They rose to the occasion and delivered our democratic victory. The baton has now been handed to us to run our mile to the summit of the Hill of Hope. We believe that this medium-term budget policy statement is a firm foundation to get us to the summit of the Hill of Hope, where a better tomorrow full of possibilities await us. The journey we are embarking on is not going to be an easy one. In this regard, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I would like to borrow from the words of a former President, Thabo Mbeki, again during his inauguration as the President of the Republic of South Africa, where he used the metaphor of the Comrades Marathon and said, I quote, "Those who complete the course will do so only because they do not, as fatigue sets in, convince themselves that the road ahead is still too long, the inclines too steep, the loneliness impossible to bear, and the price itself of doubtful value," close quote. Enxotsheni yale ntaba yethemba siyinyukayo kukho ubomi obungcono. Sisonke masikhulele uxanduva sibeke iphondo lethu nabantu balo kumhlaba obanzi. With your permission, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I would like to shift to the second aspect of the order paper, which relates to the combined financial statements of the provincial departments, the legislature, and the public entities for 2017-2018 financial year. As a department that is entrusted with managing public resources, we have an obligation to give feedback on the provincial financial results and financial position as at the 31st March 2018 to the House as mandated in terms of Section 19, subsection 3 and subsection 4 of the Public Finance Management Act number 1 of 1999. It is our responsibility to always demonstrate that the money that we manage on behalf of the public is used efficiently to accelerate services to people of this province. The combined financial statements that we are tabling to this House reflects the progress we have made to realize one of the key objectives of this province, which is to ensure effective financial management that promotes transparency and accountability. 2 of the 14 departments received clean audits. 10 received unqualified audit opinions with findings, whilst 2 received qualified audits, Department of Education and Department of Social Development. Of the 10 entities, 6 entities received clean audit opinions, 4 were unqualified. Members of the House will remember that we deferred the tabling of the annual report and audit financial statement for Khiwa Development Corporation due to a declared dispute with the AG SA. The matter has been processed by the Portfolio Committee, and we have met with AG to set out a process to resolve this dispute within a very, very short space of time. Indeed, this is a slight regression when compared to the previous year, where 13 departments obtained unqualified audit opinion with only 1 qualification, and all entities received unqualified audits, with 7 of those obtaining clean audits. We are concerned by failure to comply with the prescripts and regulation, especially on supply chain management, resulting in irregular expenditure of 5.3 billion. Provincial Treasury has also noted the slight decline in the fruitless and wasteful expenditure from 196.3 million to 194.2 million. However, Honorable Deputy Speaker, not all instances of irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure were investigated and appropriate action taken against responsible officials or whoever, resulting in delays in clearing these expenditures. We will still adopt a zero tolerance to poor performance and transgression of the law. We'll definitely have to implement the consequence management this time around. We must also intensify and strengthen financial control so that ultimately we achieve 100% clean administration. I would like to thank the Premier and my colleagues in the Cabinet or in the EXCO for their contribution. The head of department and the capable team finance of our province, Bele Siabulela, netim yonke yakwa Treasury, ngomsebenzi omhle kakhulu. Wokuqinisekisa into yokokuba silapha namhlanje senza umsebenzi osuthunyiweyo. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I hereby table the 2018 adjusted estimates of the provincial revenue and expenditure to the medium-term budget policy statement, the 2018 adjusted appropriation bill, and the combined financial statements for the 2017-2018 financial year. It should also be noted, honorable members, and through you, Deputy Speaker, that the 2018 Gazette to municipality, hospitals and schools will be published on Monday, the 26th November 2018. Enkosi kakhulu, siyabulela. Andinike amanzi la nto ngabulela. Akoyini. Andinike amanzi la. Enkosi Bell. Thank you. Okay, of course. Ngujani? Njani Msotho? Shasho.